Hello everybody, I am Krishna Rao Patro. Today I will discuss about interface concept in Java. How interface we can use in Java. An interface in Java programming language is defined as an abstract type which is used to specify the behavior of the class. So interface is a special concept which allows you to represent any information in an abstract manner. So if you want to represent any information in an abstract manner, you can use interface also. Just like abstract class. I think in the previous session we have seen abstract class. In the similar way, you can use interface also. An interface in Java is a blueprint of a behavior. So whatever the things you want to do, only what part you can mention in a interface. So interface talks about what to do. In a problem, there will be multiple tasks to be done. So all the tasks you cannot write detailedly. First of all, you have to write in a simplified way, in a high level way. So if you want to represent the problem in a high level way, then you have to use interface. So interface is also one of the abstract mechanism to represent the problem. A Java interface contains static constant and abstract methods. Generally, interface is a collection of abstract methods and static variables. So remember, static and final variables. Whenever you want to solve any problem, you can use interface to represent the problem in a simplified way. Or you can say interface is a abstract mechanism to represent. What are interfaces in Java? The interface in Java is a mechanism to achieve abstraction. And remember, to solve any problem, first we will start with abstraction. Because abstraction will help you to initiate the process. So what to do? It must be clear. Those clear-cut mechanism is given by interface. There can be only abstract methods in Java interface, not the body. So in interface, we have only abstract methods. There is no body at all. It is used to achieve the abstraction and multiple inheritance in Java using interface. Generally, Java will not support multiple inheritance, whereas you can implement multiple inheritance with the help of interface. Most of the time, even in exam or in interview, they may ask a question, how will you implement multiple inheritance in Java? Actually, Java will not support multiple inheritance directly, but indirectly you can do with the help of interface. In other words, you can say that interface can have abstract methods and variables. What variables? Final variables. Interface is a combination of abstract methods and final variables. It cannot have body. Java interface also represents is a relationship. So whatever the items you are writing or methods you are writing in an interface, that must and should be implemented in a class. So then the class and interface will act like a small weight like one is a relationship. When you decide a type of entity by its behavior, not via attributes. So you should define it is an interface. So remember, for every problem, there will be set of attributes and behavior. Those set of attributes and behavior you can write in abstract manner inside a interface. Interface, it is used to achieve abstraction. That is the first point. By interface, we can support the functionality of multiple inheritance. So using interface, you can implement multiple inheritance. It can be used to achieve loose coupling. That means individual methods you can write, even though there is no relationship also, but you can write. The syntax for interface. First you have to write interface, followed by the tag name. The tag name you can write your own, just like class name how you are giving, same way the interface name also you can give. Then you can write some variables. Those variables by default they are static and final. Similarly, you can declare a set of methods. Those methods will be also by default public and abstract methods. Similarly, you can define some constant variables also. So this is the combination of interface entity. So whenever you want to write interface, you can write set of attributes and set of methods. Methods are abstract and attributes are final. So to declare interface, we have to use a keyword called interface keyword. It is used to provide total abstraction, or it is a pure abstraction. Remember, generally in the abstract class, you can have a abstract method as well as you will have a non-abstract method also. Whereas in interface, you will have pure abstract methods. Of course, in Java 8 onwards, chapter 8, they have introduced even method with body also. But earlier, it was having only pure abstract. Now you can implement even body also. This means that all the methods in interface declare within the empty body are abstract, and public fields and public and static and fun. So generally interface basically useful for to keep abstract methods and finals. A class implements the interface must implement all the methods declared in the interface. So whatever the methods you are writing in an interface, that must and should be implemented in a class. So to implement the interface, you have to use a keyword called implements. So remember, for interface concept, there are two standard keywords. One is interface, second one is implements. These are the two standard keywords. Yeah, it is used to achieve the total abstraction. Since Java does not support multiple instances in case of class, by using the interface, you can achieve it. Any class can extend only one class. Any class can extend only one class, but it can implement multiple or infinite number of interface. An interface generally used to implement all abstract methods. Why use interface when you have abstract classes? The reason is abstract class may contain non-final variables as well as non-abstract method also. Whereas here it will be holding pure things. So interface will permit you to keep pure abstraction. One example, interface animal, public void animal sound. This is my abstract method. Remember, even though I didn't write abstract keyword, but still automatically it is a abstract. So that keyword will come automatically. Similarly, run, public void run. This is also method available in the interface. This is also abstract method. So there is no open bracket and close bracket. That means there is no body. But automatically that method is abstract. So to access the interface method, the interface must be implemented in a class. The body of the interface method is provided by implement class. So wherever you are implementing inside the class, that method you have to write. One simple example, we have defined what? Interface animal. Inside the animal, I am having two methods, animal sound and sleep. These two methods are in abstract form. This one I will try to implement in a program. That means in a class. So class pig is my class, animal is my interface. In interface I am having two methods, animal sound and sleep. Now how they are making sound and how they are sleeping, that pattern I will implement in a class. What is the name of the class? Name of the class is pig. So pig is implementing the animal. So whatever the methods are there in the animal interface, that I have to implement. So animal sound is one of the method, sleep is another method. In animal sound, what I am writing? The pig says wee. So this is the output of this particular method. Here I have implemented. Which method? The animal sound method is implemented. Similarly, the sleep method also I have to implement. So when I am implementing, writing a z. So these are the methods you have implemented in the pig class. Now here you are creating one object of pig class, creating object. Then you are calling pig.animal sound. Pig.animal sound. So when you call animal sound, this statement will be executed. Similarly, my pig.sleep, then z will be printed. So this will be printing this and the sleep will be printing this. So the corresponding method will be executed. Anyway, we will execute also with a different way. Try to know how you can write interface program. So please remember the keywords, first interface and here implements. These are the two keywords you have to use for interface programs. Now, here if you observe, this animal is acting like a parent. Animal acting like a parent and the pig acting like a child. Fine. And you are creating an object of pig class, and after the creating object, you are calling the respective method to execute it. So Like after class, interface cannot be used to create object. So you cannot create object for interface because interface doesn't have any constructor and all. It will not allow you to create object. Only you can use only referential object. Interface method do not have a body. The body provides implement class. So whatever the methods you have maintained, that must be implemented in another class. On implementation of interface, you must override all the methods. Whatever the methods you are writing, all the method you have to implement in another class. Interface methods are default, abstract and public. By default, they are abstract and public. All the methods are public accessibility. And interface attributes are default, static and final. And attributes are by default final as well as static. Similarly, interface can be extended. So one interface can be extended by another interface. That means you can have a single level or you can have a multi-level interface, means inheritance also for interface. Just like class. If A is interface, I can extend B also. So B is now extended from A. So, or I can have C also. Just like class, how you are inheriting, in a similar way, the interface also you can inherit. A class can implement multiple interface also. A single class can implement multiple interface. So with the help of that concept, you can implement multiple inheritance. An interface cannot contain a constructor, so that's why you cannot create object. There are new features added in the JDK 8 onwards. Prior to JDK 8, the interface could not define implementation. We can now add default implementation of interface methods. This default implementation has a special use and does not affect the internal interface. So from JDK 8 onwards, then the implementation style and its internal behavior change. You can have a body also for a method. That facility they have introduced in JDK 8. In another interface, means another feature that added in the JDK 8 onwards, we can now define a static methods in interface and can be called independently without creating object. You can call this method also. You need not to even implement. Whatever the method are there in interface, you can call directly. That means you can have a static method in interface also. These things are available from 8 onwards. Before 8, this facility was not there. Now you can see a small example from JDK 8 onwards, how the new features. They have introduced a new feature called default method. The default method, you can have a body. This method you can use directly. You need not override also. So class, test class implements I1. IN is what? My interface. Interface number 1 is interface. And I am having a variable called A, which is final type, whose value is 10. Now this value I can use directly. So when I call system.out.println hello, hello will be printed. So t.display. If you observe here, class, test class implements in1. In1 is what? It's my interface. In the interface, I am having two items. One is attribute or a final variable. Second one is display method. These two one I am going to use in my class. Here what I wrote, implements in1. So whatever the items are there in the interface, everything is now available here. Now I am creating object of test class. I am creating the test class. Then I am calling t.display. Then automatically I will get hello. Of course, if you want, you can print system.out.println t.a also. So I can access also. Okay. I will show you that output also. Similarly, another program. In the previous one, what you have seen, how to use default method. Now we will see how to use static method. If you are using static method, you have to use a keyword called static. So what is the name of the interface? Interface in1 and having attribute A and having method display, but what type? Static type. So inside the method I am printing some message, hello, class, test class. Here in the test class, what I am doing? I am implementing my interface. Whatever the attributes and methods are there in the interface, those things will come automatically to this class because I am implementing that particular interface. So now, while invoking that method, you should call through the interface. Because I have implemented this one, so I can call in1 dot display, so that this method you can call directly. Okay. Now I will show you how you can execute these methods. So try to see that one, how you can use static method as well as how you can use default method. Now let us see one program for this. I'll go to my notepad, control N. I'll define one interface first. Interface, for example, I said animal. Animal is interface. This animal having one attribute, assume int a equal to some 10. Now I have declared what? A is a variable. But remember, by default this is final variable. That means I cannot change. If it is a normal variable, in general you can modify. Whereas here automatically that is a final variable. Even though I didn't write int, it will be final. I will show you how it changes. And I will write a method called void f. F is a method, open bracket. Now this is also a abstract method as well as it is a public method. Now let me implement in the interface. Interface demo, intf demo is my class name, and inside the class I will implement the interface. So how to interface? Implement. So you have to write a keyword called implements followed by the name of the interface, animal. Now here I will write my main method public static void main string arguments array. Here what I will do, I will try to create object of interface. Interface obj equal to new interface. Now if I write this one, what type of error I will get? Let us see. Control C. Interface demo, intf demo dot java. Now go to the program, open the information containing folder, cls java c intf demo. Yes, I have compiled it. Now there is a small error. Please observe this error. What is this error? Interface demo is not an abstract and does not override abstract method. Because whenever you are implementing, whatever the methods you have mentioned in the interface, you must and should implement. Otherwise, the system will give error. So how to overcome this error? So whenever this error comes, you can change by implementing that method. What is the name of the method? The name of the method is f. This method I have to implement here. Let us implement here. Void f. Here let me write a small message. System.out.println hello f. Assume I write here method. Now here I have overridden. Actually this method is available in the my animal interface. Here I am overriding this, but still what error is coming, you see, because even though I have overridden, but still it is giving error. Yeah, what is saying? Error interface cannot implement. It is attempting to assign weaker access, because I told you whatever the method you are writing in interface, that is in public part. By default automatically public. So you must and should write public here. Otherwise the system gives error. So write here public. That means what? Even though I didn't write public here, generally you supposed to write, but not required. By default that will come public. Even though I am not writing, that is public only. Here, that's why you have to write here public. Now see. Yeah, now after writing public, that error has gone. So for every method of your interface, while overriding, you should write public. Otherwise, it will say that you are having the weaker access privilege was brief. So better write public. Now my object is ready. I'll call this method. So obj dot, I will call the method, so I will call f. Similarly, system dot out dot println. Here I will write obj dot, I will call my attribute a. Now see, here I am calling what? obj.f. When I call obj.f, automatically this method will be called. When I say obj.a, a is what? A is my attribute which is available in the interface. So automatically, because I am implementing, this also acts like one type of inheritance. So that data will be available to this child. So now let us check. Compile it. Yes, compile successfully. Now run it. Interpret demo. Yes, I got hello f. As well, I got 10. My value of a is 10. Now you are able to access what? Your parent data. Your parents' data. Now, if I say without creating instance, I'll write here animal.a. That means through interface I'm calling. Control A. Compile it. Yes, successfully compiled. Yeah, there also I am getting. That means what? It is also acting like a static data. Because if it is a static, you can call through class name or interface name. So by default, it is a static also. Or you may say Control C. I'll write only A also. Control A. Compile it. Yes, successfully compiled. Yeah, I got 10, 10, 10, 3 times because I'm printing this. So I can call directly through my static method because main is a static method and my A also static variable. Automatically I can use. So in the 3 different way I can access it. Similarly, now here I am trying to change A equal to, I'll say 25. Now actually what is the value of A? That is 10. But here I am trying to access 25. After 25, I will display. Control S. Now see what error will come. Now you are getting error. Cannot assign value to a final variable. So whatever the variable you have declared in interface, that always comes under final. That means constant. Now if it is a constant, you cannot override. You cannot change. That's why we are getting an error. So do not override. This gives you error. This gives you error. So this is a simple example of how to implement a interface. And one more thing I want to show one error here. Assume this animal is interface and animal some AOBJ equal to new AOBJ, new animal. Here I am trying to create an object of interface. So here what error will get? You see. Yes, animal is abstract, cannot be instantiated. So that means you cannot create object of interface. So it gives error. Not allowed. So do not write here. Error. Cannot create instance. So this is the basic concept of interface concept. So while writing interface program, you must be very careful. What are the things, means what are the items you need? You write in abstract form. That abstract form you have to implement in a class. I will give another example. For example, interface shape. Shape is what? My interface. For every shape, I want to compute the area as well as circumference. So, word area, because the shape may be a rectangular shape, the shape may be a circular shape, the shape may be a square shape. Depending on the type of shape, the area will be different as well as the circumference will be different. So now there must be a method to compute it. So for every step, the area is compulsory as well as circumference. Circumference is compulsory. So these two I have to implement in a class. So now, sometime in exam they may ask a question. You define an shape where for every shape I have to compute area as well as circumference. Then first of all, those problems you have to represent. What exactly you need? I need area as well as I need circumference. So that part I can write in a interface. So this representation is called abstract representation. So this abstract representation you can do with the help of interface. Now you have to implement in a class. Now class, for example, I am having a class called rectangle. A rectangle class should implement the interface. So you should write implements shape. So whenever you are implementing shape, you have to write both the method. Which method? You have to implement area method as well as circumference. So what is the area of the rectangle? Area of the rectangle depends upon the length and breadth. So let me define two attributes, length and breadth. L and B are two attributes. Attribute of what? This class. Now, whenever I am creating rectangle, through constructor I will pass these two. Int L, int B. Whatever data I am passing while constructing, this I will assign. This dot L equal to L. Okay. Similarly, this dot B equal to B. I got length and breadth. Similarly, after construction, means after constructor, then I will go to implementing of my area. So how many methods I have written? Two methods. And both methods are what? Public as well as abstract. And these two methods I have to implement in the class. Otherwise, I cannot create instance of the rectangle. Because if you are not implementing, then this is also equal to one abstract class. So I must override both the method under public accessibility. So I should write here public void, and what is the name of the method? Area is my method. Whatever the data I have passed, the length and breadth, L and B, they are the two main arguments to calculate the area. So now these two data I will use for calculation of area. Now let me apply the formula to calculate the area of the rectangle. System dot out dot println area equal to this value. What I will do? I will multiply A with B. Now what happened? Whatever data means not A and B, sorry, length in breadth, L and B. Because L is the length, B is the breadth. If you multiply length with breadth, automatically you get the area. Similarly, because I have to implement both the method. One is area method, second one is circumference. So this also I should write. So how to write circumference? Because whenever you are implementing any method of the interface, you have to write first public followed by the return type of that method, whatever you have mentioned, void, followed by circumference. How to calculate circumference of the rectangle? The circumference of the rectangle is 2 into L plus B. So apply that formula for the attribute. So now I will write system dot out dot println. Now here I will write the formula. Circumference equal to this value. I am concatenating 2 into L plus B. Yeah. So that means I have applied the formula. Whatever the L and B are there, based on that one, I am computing this one. So this is my circumference. Of course, if you want, you can write it in separate place also. Now, both the methods are implemented. That means my basic requirements are over. Once the basic requirements are over, then you can create instance. Then you can call the methods. So you can create instance and call it. So I will write one driver class where I will create my object. So here I will write class shape demo. Here shape demo is what? This is the class. Here I am not implementing any interface. It is a independent class. This class will create instance of rectangle where the rectangle implements the shape. Okay. Now let us go to the main method. Public static void main string argument array. Here my name of the class is what? Rectangle class. Rectangle ROBJ means rectangle object equal to, while creating the object I will pass my parameter through constructor. So how to write a constructor? The constructor name is always same as class name. So here I will write the class name with some parameter, because my constructor demands two parameters, length and breadth. Assume I am passing some length is 5, breadth is some 6. So length 5, breadth 6. Now based upon the value of length and breadth, then it can compute the area. So let us compute the area. So ROBJ dot area. Once I call this area method, then it will compute the area. So here I will print a message system dot out dot println. Now here I am writing just rectangle, means to know that one. Just one information. Here I am calling area method. Similarly, I want to compute circumference also. How to compute circumference? By calling the method. So how to call? ROBJ dot, what is the name of the method? Circumference. This one I will write here. Yeah. So automatically circumference and area will be displayed. Let us run it. Control C, Control S, Control V dot Java. My program compiled successfully. Clear the screen. Yes. Now Java. Not interface. Sorry. My class name is shape demo. No? SHP shape demo. Yes. Java C. You have to compile it. For compilation, you have to write Java C. Java compiler. Yes, compile successfully. Now Java shape demo. Yeah. Now for rectangle I got area, because I passed 5 and 6. So 5 and 6, 30. And circumference 2 into 5 plus 6. So 5 plus 6 means 11. 11 into 2 means 22. So here I got this area as well as circumference of the rectangle, whose length is 5, breadth is 6. So how to print length and breadth also? Let me print both before printing rectangle's length and breadth. Through object I can call the length, LENGTH. Length equal to this value I want to print it. That is available inside my object. So my object name is ROBJ dot L. That gives you the length part. Similarly, I want to print the breadth also. Breadth is how much? ROBJ dot B. Because L and B are my attributes of the class. So I can call that one. Let us run. Compile it. Yeah. Length is 5, breadth is 6. And area is this. So you have implemented in rectangle class. Similarly, you can implement through another class. Which class? For example, let me take another class called circle. Just like rectangle class, I will implement another class called circle. Class circle. In circle also, because circular also one type of shape. One rectangular shape, one circular shape. So For circle shape, you need area as well you need circumference. For that, what are the input you need? You have to decide. Because for circle, the main input is radius. Once the radius is given, then you can compute area as well as you can compute circumference. So, here I want to implement the behavior of shape. So, I should implement. So, here you should write what? Implements shape. Once you implement the shape, whatever the methods you have mentioned in the shape, you have to override here. If you are not overriding, again it will give error. Okay. Now, Control C, let us run. If I try to compile, yeah, it gives error. Circle is not abstract, does not override the circumference and area. So, you have to override both the methods. Otherwise, it will not allow you to compile also. So, to overcome this problem, I have to override the method. Override means what? There must be a body. And while overriding, I should write what? Public, because its accessibility is first public, void area. If at all body is that is enough, then you can write your logic later. Similarly, public void circumference, open bracket, close bracket. So, this is enough. Whether you write logic or not secondary, depending upon your requirement, you will write. But to avoid the compile time error, you can write this. Control S. Let us check now. Yeah, now that error has gone. So, to overcome this error, you must and should override the methods. Let us write the logic. Now, to write the logic, actually area is what? Area of the circle. The area of the circle is nothing but pi r square. So, that means without r, I cannot compute area. So, my r must be, that means r means what? Radius. The radius must be one of the attribute for my circle class. So, let me define one attribute int radius r into r. And this r, I have to give while creating the object. So, while creating object, I have to pass it. So, that means I should write my constructor. So, how to write constructor? Circle is my constructor name. And while calling, I will pass the r. R is my radius. Whatever the r I am passing, this r I will assign to my member. This dot r equal to r. Automatically my radius is assigned with some value. Once the r is available, then you can compute the area. So, how to compute the area? System dot out dot println. Now, here I will write area equal to area of what? The circle. So, area of the circle depends on the pi r square formula. So, actually there is a built-in class called math class, math.pi. Pi is my one built-in constant. This value into r square, r into r. Yeah. So, I got the area. Now, let us call this one. Here, just like rectangle, let me print area also. Here, what I will do instead of rectangle, I write circle. Circle, radius. I will create an object of C object dot r. First of all, I have to create the C object. Just like rectangle, I will create one circle object also. Before that, in the rectangle, I will remove it. I will write circle followed by C object followed by circle, and my circle requires what? Only one parameter. Assume 6. 6 is, or I will put 7. 7 is my radius. 7 is my radius. Once the C object is ready, then I will call cobj.r. This gives you what? What is the radius of the circle? Once the circle is ready, then I can call the area. How to call area? Cobj, that is the name of the object, dot, that is accessing operator, followed by area. That method I will compute. Fine. Now let us run. Still circumference I have not implemented. Okay. Compile it. Yeah. Even though I didn't write the logic, but there is open bracket and close bracket. There is a body. Once body is there, the compiler will support. Now run Java shape demo. Once you run, yeah, I got circle also. For my circle object, radius is 7 and area is this much. This is my area. Similarly, you may ask, what is the circumference of the circle? For the radius R. So, you should write the logic for the circumference also. So, now here, I should call Control C, cobj dot circumference. Circumference. Once I call this method, then you have to write the logic here. What is the logic for the circumference? System dot out dot println. Here I'll write circumference equal to plus circumference what formula? 2 into pi into r. So I'll write here 2 into pi. Pi means math dot pi. Actually this is a built-in constant which is available under the math class, and the math class belongs to lang package. So directly I am able to access it. Into r. R is my radius. So now my circumference method is ready. Once the method is ready, then you can call. Here I am calling circumference of circle. Compile it. Sorry, I have to compile it. For any changes, always you have to compile first. Compile successfully. Java shape demo. Yeah. So I got the circumference also. So for the circle, my radius is 7, my area is this much, and circumference is this much. But you may say, after decimal, I want to display only 2 digits. So that means I want to round up to 2 digits only. So in that case, what you have to do? If you do not want to print all the digits after decimal, then instead of println, there is a method called printf. You can use printf also. Okay, this is earlier it was println. Now I'll put comment. Then I'll write printf. If I write printf here, then you have to write the printing control character percentage 0.2f. That means after decimal 2 digit. So if you are writing printf, you write the percentage symbol. That is the control character. Followed by you should write comma. Not here, not here. Sorry, because we are printing there. Here this is only radius part. Radius part, no problem. Our problem is area part, area and circumference of circle. So I'll go to this method. Here area, I'll write here printf. Okay. Earlier it was println. Here what I'll do, I'll change to printf. Printf area equal to 0.2f. That means after decimal 2. So you write percentage symbol. Then after that you have to give a comma symbol. So this is the syntax of printf method in Java. Similarly, circumference also. I want to give up to 2 digits after decimal. So here circumference equal to point percentage symbol first, then point, that means after decimal 2 digit f floating point followed by comma, and this is printf, printing the data in a formatted manner. Let us check. Compile it. Okay, after compiling, then again you have to call it. Yeah, now my area is 43.98. Whatever the circumference, did I keep circumference? Why it is not coming? COBJ circumference. Control S. When I'm calling circumference, it should come. So now let us check. Compile it. Compile the program. Yes. Run it. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Both are coming. Area is coming and circumference, but it is not coming to new line. It has to come to next line. So put always a new line. So put a backslash n new line. Similarly, here also put a backslash n. Otherwise, it is going in the same line. Backslash n is what? New line character. So in string, you can write a backslash n to print the data in the next line. Compile it. Now Java, shutdown. Yeah. So I got my area and circumference. So this is the way it works. So you have learned today how you can implement the static methods and static variables and abstract methods of the interface. So this is the way you have to write the interface program in Java. Fine. Now let us see how to have a static method. That means you can have an interface with body also. Some methods with the body. So generally you can use those things in Java interface also. A interface I'll write new model. This is the name of the interface. Here I'll write a static method. One default method, you can write default void f, default void f. I'll write a method system dot out dot println hello method. This method I wrote. Similarly, that means generally the open bracket, close bracket are not allowed. But in JDK 8 onwards, 1.8 onwards, you can write the body also. Now, I'll write one more method static. So, for default method and static method, you can write this. Similarly, I'll write a int some number equal to some 15 I'll write. So, this is my static as well as final. Now, this one I will call in my interface. I will implement in my class. New interface, open bracket, close. This is my class. Now this class will allow you to implement the interface. Let me implement this one. So here I can write implements. Implements what? My new model. So whatever the methods are there, directly you can call. That means you need not override. Now I write here public static void main. In this method, I am trying to use those methods. Whatever the methods you have defined inside the interface. String, arguments array, open bracket, close bracket. Fine. Now what I will do? I will create an instance of new interface. I will create an object. This equal to new interface. So that means I am creating an instance of my class. This class is implementing my interface. That interface having two methods. One default method as well as one static method. Let me call those methods. So obj dot, what is the name of the method? Name of the method is, here this is the method f, here I will make it g. But f is default, g is static. Okay. So now I will call obj.f. It is a default method. It is default. And let me first call this one new interface. new INTF dot Java. Let me run it. Java C new interface.java. Yes. While calling, you got the errors. Default default swelling down. Yes. Control S. Clear the screen. Yeah. Class interface implements new model. There is one error. Open bracket, close bracket is missing. Implements, spelling is wrong. Implements, yes. Control S. Now compile it. Yeah. Now you must be very careful while typing the program because they are completely case sensitive and the keywords are all lowercase. You should not miss not even a single character. Now how to run? Java new INTF. Now when you are running, yeah, I got hello method because here I am calling the default method. Hello, I will say default method. Default method. You can call. Here I will write hello static method. Hello static method. Control S. Now compile it. Yeah, hello default method is invoked because I am calling through that object. Now I want to call obj.g also. Obj.g. G is what? My static method. If I call this one, now what happens you see. Yeah, there is error. So that means if it is a static method, you cannot call through the object because that become a class variable, means class method. It is a static method. So you can call through the interface only. So you cannot call. Now did you observe? Cannot find the symbol obj.g. So to overcome this error, I will call through my interface. What is the name of the interface? The name of the interface is new model. So here this new model is implemented in my new interface. Here I will call this new model.g. Control S. Compile it. Yes. Now no error. Java new interface. This may, yeah. Now here both answers are coming. So this is the way you have to call it. So if it is a default method and static method, you should know how to call it. This is my static method. So of course these things are available in JDK 1.8 onwards. Now let me override again. If you are trying to override, what will happen? Void F system dot out dot println hello F in class, in main class, and this is I will put in public area. Control S. Now Java new INTF. Yeah, now it is coming hello F in main. That means I am overriding in the parent. So this method is hello default method. Now here I am overriding my own method. Hello F in main. This is calling. So by default this is this method. If you are overriding, then this method will be called. Similarly, let me write the G also. Control C. Public hello G in main. In main. Control S. If I am trying to override my static method, now Java new interface Now here I got what? Hello, F in main, but that one I didn't get because this is I'm calling through my parents G, because here I wrote what? I wrote new module.g. So it goes to the parents G. But here if I now write obj.g, Control S, compile it. Yeah, compiled successfully. Now run new INTF. Here, yeah, hello G in main. So if you are overriding, then you can call through object. If you are not overriding, you would call through class name. So this is the way you can call. Of course, here also you can call directly the G. You can call also directly G. It is a non-static method. You cannot override. You cannot call because here we wrote what? It is a non-static. Now if I write here public static, now yeah, now that error gone. Now run it. While running, yeah, now I got hello G because you are calling your method. Here main is static, G also static. So a static method can call static method directly. So this is the way you can call these methods. I hope it is clear. So this is the way you have to solve all the problems. So thank you. So remaining concept will learn in the next session. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.